You're, we're live. Good afternoon or good morning from there where it's 8 minutes to 12. Today, 16th of January 2020. Wow, can't believe we are already 16 days into the new year. Or just 16 days into the new year. It's already feeling like 2 months. And it's a very long January. So, I don't know how anyone else is saying it, but around the world, with events that are happening, things that do happening in 7, 8, 10 years seem to be happening for fun this time around. Yeah, Anozie, welcome, guys. Welcome, bro. And tell everyone else that they've taken down the account too. The new Facebook account is done also. Yeah, my brother. Welcome. Looks like Facebook is never going to work. Looks like it's never going to be our thing. So, but we must continue. Please, guys, help me share this video right now. So you're watching, take a moment, thumb it up, share it on Facebook and on Twitter. Please help me share it everywhere. Share it everywhere across the social media platform and tell our friends that I'm here right now. We're officially gone forever on Facebook. Thanks, David Obilo. Good morning. Thanks. Thank you so much. Yeah, welcome. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining and thanks for sharing. And thumb it up, please. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm. So, my brothers and sisters, almost everything they used to call a conspiracy theory has now been proven to be conspiracy fact. Roses, they've been proven to be conspiracy facts. Just like one day they will still admit to every other thing. The new Facebook is gone. That's what I'm talking about. The new Facebook is gone too. They took it down yesterday. So, guys, when you bring up issues of unidentified flying objects, flying objects, like they call it, which are all these things you see something like a flat, like a saucer, a flat saucer, a saucer that's flying in the sky, and the speed at which they move, no scientist, our current knowledge of physics can't explain it. Imagine something moving 100 knots underwater. Just please, before I proceed, I want to play this video from Tucker Carlson, my #1 go-to in the network media. Tucker Carlson, that's an interview he did with someone, and please, I want you to pay attention to this interview. We'll go through this video step by step. Just watch with me. Hold on. This is Tucker Carlson's episode. This is his latest episode last night. They will soon take the video down. So any of you that knows how to download the video should go and download this video. Tucker Carlson tonight, 1st January 2020, full. Okay, now let's play the video.
And Democrats aren't willing to stand for women in women's sports. Yeah, so after like 1 million years, we're redefining gender out of existence. That can't have bad consequences. We'll be judged for this because this is too nuts, actually, I think. Congressman, great to see you.
Now watch it. Now the video
Pentagon
starts.
has spent millions of dollars investigating UFOs. Now they're telling us that their findings are too dangerous to show the public. What does that mean exactly? What could the findings be? One of the few people who might know joins us after the break. Well, for about 70 years, the U.S. government avoided saying anything at all about UFOs, like they didn't exist. And then last year, for the first time ever, the Defense Department admitted that 3 separate tapes recorded in 2004 and 2015 were genuine footage of unknown flying objects. Now, the Navy is refusing to declassify reports on the 2004 incident, saying they would imperil national security, severely imperil. What does that mean exactly? What kind of information could those reports contain? Luis Elizondo headed the Pentagon's UFO research program, and now he's Director of Government Programs and Services at the To the Stars Academy. He joins us tonight. Luis, thanks so much for coming on. So
thank you for having me.
The language here is so striking. The U.S. government typically has understated press releases. This one said it would cause severe damage to the U.S. national security if we release this. What does that mean?
Well, typically in the three categories of classified information, you have.
Please, guys, first of all, look at his name, Luis Elizondo, former military intelligence official. And this guy used to head the Pentagon UFO department. So this is not just a guy they picked up from the streets, they just pulled from anywhere. To talk to you about this, it's not David Icke. Neither is it Santos Bonacci. Neither is it a stupid guy like me. This is someone who was in the system, who was heading the program directly. And if you are listening so far, yeah, what did they say that is going to impact the U.S. national security? Please, how is releasing a secret about UFO going to imperil the national security of the USA? Does that mean that the aliens we are talking about are just US government property or what? No other person has it? Or is there anything? What exactly is the national security is going to disturb? Let's listen to the guy, then I'll come back and give a complete analysis on this.
Top secret, secret, and confidential. Top secret is generally categorized as that information that if it got released could provide grave damage to the national security of our country.
But in what way could knowing more about those tapes of the unidentified objects damage this country's national security? I'm totally confused.
Well, frankly, I agree with you. I really don't know. Typically, when you classify data information, or in this case, video, you're doing it to protect sources and methods, locational data, perhaps call signs, or certain aspects of technology that we're testing. In this particular case, there are methods, there's means to sanitize video. You can clear up the metadata, for example, and you can, of course, sanitize the video so you don't reveal those sources and methods. So to me, it's a little peculiar when the Pentagon is saying, well, we can't release the video. Perhaps the raw data, the raw video, sure, but there are ways to get around that.
Well, of course. So my hunch is they don't know what these objects are. They're behaving in ways that seem to defy physics, and they don't want to release more information because it'll terrify the public.
Well, or that is absolutely a possibility. Another possibility is too is that they don't know what it is, and quite frankly, to be in that type of position where you are the Department of Defense and you don't have answers, that can be a very uncomfortable position to be in. And this is exactly why I think we need to have a conversation as a people, as American citizens.
So I'm struck that this kind of information has been known for an awfully long time. There are many political figures who've been read in on these reports. I know some of them. And none of them have ever really described in public what they have heard in these briefings. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think because there's a lot we still need to know. Certainly my time in ATIP, we came across a lot of information that, frankly, from a conventional perspective, just simply doesn't make sense. These are vehicles able to perform in ways that, frankly, defy our understanding of physics. Now, that doesn't mean they're defying physics. It just simply means that we don't yet understand the science behind how these things are moving. And quite frankly, if this was an adversarial technology,
Now, watch this Chiron. Read this Chiron. Navy pilots witness UFOs move in ways that defy human capabilities. Well, Departments of Defense. This video belongs to the U.S. Departments of Defense, to the Stars Academy of Arts and Science. Okay, let's continue.
Can imagine that this could be a significant game changer for our country.
Mm-hmm.
Something's moving at 100 knots underwater. Yeah, it's very, very quickly. Do you think that officials at the Pentagon are unnerved by this? Does it scare people who know more about this information?
I do. My concern is that not enough people in the Pentagon are aware of this program. And that was kind of the frustration I had when I was in the program. And there are still elements right now in the Pentagon that really don't want this information to become public.
Yeah. Well, at this stage, it seems very unlikely they're going to be able to keep that information secret. Well, thanks so much for that. It's always great to see you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Always my pleasure.
We're out of time tonight. We'll be back, of course, 8 p.m. tomorrow and every weeknight, the show that is the sworn enemy of lying, pomposity, smugness, and groupthink. Good night from Los Angeles. We'll see you tomorrow.
So I hope you all have seen it. I hope you all have seen it. Someone said, but how come UFOs are not in Nigeria? I've never heard of any Nigerian or African talking about you. Don't say that. Do not say that. You know why? Because a lot of places in Nigeria are not even inhabited. And there are many phenomena happening in Nigeria that most people can't even explain how. You see, now you see why atheism is bad. Atheism makes you shallow-minded. It makes you shallow, think on a shallow plane. But if you know anything about African culture and traditions, these are the visitors your ancestors talked about days and years and years and years ago, thousands of years ago. They've known about this. All these folk tales, folklore stories, they are talking. Why is it that each and every one of them confirms the same one people are told in India, in Australia, in the Middle East, in all the ancient places, even in South America? All those stories are the same. And what again do these places have in common? They all have ancient civilizations, ancient technologies. They were the first to do arithmetics. They were the first to understand science. Now, this takes us back to Kemet. This will take you back to the Indus Valley. This will take you back to Persia, to Mesopotamia. These are stories that they copied and gave you the Bible. The Vatican know this secret. The Romans knew this. The Greeks knew this. The Persians basically practiced it. There are things, go and study forbidden archaeology. When you study forbidden archaeology now as a Nigerian, you go back to your own culture. There's nothing like a Nigerian. You go back to a Bini culture, to Isoko culture, to Igbo culture. Go back to all those things. Listen again to those stories you were told by your ancestors, that stories that have been passed down from generation to generation. Rose says, thanks for explaining the UFO to our brother. Wahiho Lord. Thank you, Rose, for explaining that. That was a good explanation. Before, they don't even admit that this thing is happening. But as Tucker Carlson just said, he said, I don't think they can hide it forever. The Chinese have this right now. Yes. Do you remember the Dogon tribe in Mali and how they mapped out the star system and saw the Sirius 2 star? And they told you that their ancestors came from there, and they do visit them from that place down. And those people were able to preserve that history because the Arabs couldn't even invade them when they were invading. The Europeans didn't get there in time. That's why in the Dogon, why do you think all those? See, I don't care what you believe. I don't care if you believe it or not. I've told anybody who doubts this should please come, place your bet, $10,000, and I will show you how someone could control the weather without any known scientific equipment. No science equipment. Nothing, but he will control the weather and draw down the rain and stop it at will. Not that I've seen. I personally know people whose bodies cannot be cut by any sharp blade. Are you seeing it? No, they finally admitted that it's a Sirius 2 star. Meanwhile, these people knew about it years and years ago. That was why one French researcher who went there in the 70s went there again in 2015. Go on YouTube and search for those videos, you will see them. Not as if the Chinese have this, all the people. Now, let me tell you, is it a coincidence that all the countries, all the people that had access to the technology, to the documents stolen by the Greeks from Africa, from Persia, from many places, from even in Indus Valley, because as then Indian Kush, which is present there, Afghanistan, was still under India. Those people that had access to all those documents and stole them and ran to their place, magically they are the people who are the most advanced in science till this day. Look at the French. How did the French get their hands on it? The French were one of the barbaric tribes. The French and Germans, they are brothers and sisters. The French is a part of a Germanic tribe, in case people don't know. They were part of the people that destroyed the Roman Empire, and they had access to this document. One other time this happened was under Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon, when he took over when he started ravaging Europe, the first thing he did was taking all of these documents from the Vatican City and shipped them back to France, each and every one of them. And when you go to France, all the places those documents were laid, go there, they have the most secretive and the most formidable Masonic lodges. Are you paying attention now? Now you know why some people seem to be ahead of the time they were living in. Now you know why the people who gave you even religion knew about these things before then. Imagine how far they've gone, how far the people they left that secret in their hands have gone. Now you know why there is a class in everywhere, in every place. The more secret you know, the higher you are placed in the society. There are people who know this. Ask yourself, why is it that these people have people they are paying just to study ancient languages? Most of them, the ones spoken 500 years ago, the ones that are lastly spoken 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. You see languages that the last time they were spoken were maybe 2,000, 3,000 years ago. Still, there are people they are paying highly to preserve it. And all those languages they are studying, they all have one or two ancient manuscripts from those people. Yet we don't understand what's going on. You think they're going to tell you the truth. The only truth I got from the US Department of Defense on this is this. Yes, it will cause a very big chaos in the society if the whole truth is known. If the whole truth is known, it's going to cause a very big chaos. Most of these things are being caught on camera, yet the people still wait for these people to tell them this is true or this is not true before they believe it. Who are you going to believe? A lying system of government or a lying government body, or the people who've had direct contact with these things? And those flying saucers, there are videos and videos, unedited videos of them everywhere. In fact, do you remember when they did a documentary about children in Zimbabwe? More than 40 children, I think the number was 44. 44 children playing in their school, saw something. Please, can 44 children all make up the same story? 44. This is not 4 children. 44 children of different ages. 44 children of different ages, across ages, between 5 and 12 or 13, I think. Wait, I'll pull up the video now and show you. They all had the same story. They all narrated the same thing. They all saw the same thing and told the same thing to everyone. Somehow, no one is paying attention to that. Please, let me see if I can pull up this video. Hold on. Okay, I have it here. Please, I don't know if I'm going to get a community strike by playing this video on full screen. I don't know if I'll get a community strike. Just watch this video, guys.
A most convincing UFO visitation took place in 1994 in front of more than 60 witnesses between the ages of 5 and 12. On a playground outside their school, the children all stopped playing at the same time to watch a large flying saucer hovering over distant scrubland. That sight, however, was only the beginning of their nightmares. The Ariel Primary School is located a short distance from the capital of Zimbabwe, in the rural township of Ruwa. Grades 1 through 7 are still taught there. The close encounter took place on September 19th, 3 years after the founding of the school, and 1 week after the start of the 3rd term. Tuition at the Ariel School is expensive, and all the students came from wealthy families. The children represented many different races, Asian and African and English. They had no exposure to the internet, little exposure to television, and no prior awareness of UFOs. Salma Siddiq was one of those 62 kids. She was 11. In an interview last year, she recounted flashing lights coming from small hills nearby. There was little supervision outdoors during the mid-morning recess because all the teachers were in a staff meeting. The only adult supervisor, a mother of one of the students at Ariel, was inside the candy concession stall, which did not afford a view of the entire playground. She could see only that part of the field reserved for the youngest children. The other kids crowded towards the direction of the hovering craft, stopping where the end of the playground was marked by tree trunks, where some huge eucalyptus had been cut down. They later described the UFO itself as a silver disc. The next thing Salma knew, a small being was standing in front of her, on the other side of the eucalyptus trunks. The features of its face were minimal, its expression unchanging, and its skin reminded her of unblemished porcelain. It wore what looked like to her a scuba suit. Other youngsters described the suit as black and shiny. After the encounter, the children ran as a mob to tell the woman running the concession stall, but she turned them away, not willing to pick up and leave with all the food and money. They ran as one to interrupt the staff meeting, where they were also told to calm down and shut up. Classes then were held as normal. However, on the next day, the school switchboard was inundated with calls from worried parents, wanting to know why their kids were so scared. Then the teachers got scared. After the police proved themselves unhelpful, one of the teachers thought of consulting a well-known UFO researcher from the capital, Cynthia Hind. Hind was so convinced by the witnesses that she reached out
This is the
to
book she wrote.
psychiatrist and Harvard professor John Mack, who soon arrived to interview the experiencers. Emily Trim was one of those 62 kids. Her age was 8. Speaking at a public event 3 years ago, she remembered how she and her friend were already at the tree log boundary of the playground when they heard a high-pitched noise, like the sound of a flute. They saw a flash and a spacecraft. They saw 2 beings heading towards them, hopping over the scrub without touching the ground. Suddenly, the beings appeared before them. One of them attempted to communicate with Emily while staring into her eyes, and the message was telepathic. She perceived a rapid display of images in her mind, hundreds of mental pictures, perhaps thousands. She said the being told her, "There is a good way of using technology. There is a bad way of using technology. You can do better." Different messages were relayed to different school children, but there was a common theme: to be a better caretaker of the environment on Earth. Before any investigators ever arrived on site, the kids were encouraged to draw pictures of what they had seen. The artwork was remarkably similar. They drew the being with an oversized head and large, slanted black eyes. The mouth was only a slit. The pictures were all of that type of alien that is now classified as a gray.
Time stood still.
Okay, these are documents. These are government documents. All these ones you see now, they are all documents on this. Did you pay attention? The kids all drew the same vehicle. They all drew the same type of humans. Similar. Over 60 kids drew the same thing, said the same thing. If these were adults, we would say, yeah, maybe they formed a pact to sell this lie, to sell this hoax as real. But these are children. They don't lie. They don't know how to lie. That's why do you not do some certain things in front of your kids? Because they don't know how to lie yet. When they are lying, you can almost tell immediately. And just ask them a little question, they will falter. But when they are saying something consistently, all of them are not a single one changed their story. Something has to be there. And it wasn't even looked into. Let's finish the documents. All these things you're seeing are government documents. Watch them.
Was fulfilled. Now the sun.
Okay, this video is finished. It's over. So, guys, are you seeing it? Thanks, my brother, for that shout out. Thanks, bro. Thanks, everyone. Are you seeing it? No, don't start screaming yet. This is not the time to get afraid yet. Wait until you hear many stories. There were stories about aliens by themselves disturbing all these atomic weapon projects that the Americans and the Soviets were building. Sometimes they will dismantle their weapons. Those stories, I will keep on bringing you these videos as time goes on. Now, what is the national security this is going to disturb? It's not national security. It's going to disturb the global security, the global world order. It will destroy everything you were told in school. Everything you were ever told about physics. This will make Nikola Tesla look like a primary school boy. It will make him look like an elementary student. No matter what you think Tesla knew and what he wrote, what he left for us, this would dwarf it by a lot. By a lot. Tesla couldn't envisage a situation whereby in 2020, even before 2020, that we will have an object that moves at 100 knots underwater. Underwater. It will destroy everything they told you about our life here on Earth and how we arrived here. It will destroy everything we know about our contemporary society and even our history. Even our history. Maybe then people will start calling for the opening of the Vatican archives. What are they hiding there? What don't they want people to see? All these ancient institutions, when you look around, believe me, look around you. Any institution you see that has lasted for almost 500 years or more. Or let me say at least 500 years. Anyone you see, please be mindful of that institution. That's where the power lies. And they are all interconnected. All of them. And they've done, do you know why I picked up real interest on this UFO program? It was when I read an article those days about the British Ministry of Defense, talking about them abandoning their UFO project. Meanwhile, this was at a time people started showing confirmation videos, showing videos of all these phenomena happening everywhere. Many things, sometimes see a flashlight saving people from danger. Or I'm not talking about all these nonsense things they make up. I'm not talking about these made up videos. These are edited videos they are putting online. No, I'm talking about real life experiences. People talking about it. Napoleon talked about him having chipped by aliens. He told these stories long before. Go and please start researching these things on your own free time if you can make out time to research about it, which I think you should. I started paying that. Wait, let me show you the article. I was reading it. Watch. Okay, let me pull up this article. Let me share it on the screen. I want you all to see this with me. Please bear with me. Stay with me here. Watch. Watch this. Watch this article. No time for aliens. How the MOD try to prove no one's out there. What are they telling? Can you watch it? Reports collecting a decade of UFO sightings in 1990s was intended to protect ministry from more X-Files inspired requests. So they put out those things just to make sure that all these X-Files, by X-File they mean banned files they can't share with the public. Read all these things. Read all these things. It was 1997, the 50th anniversary of the suspected flying saucer crash at Roswell in New Mexico, and the heyday of paranormal mystery series, the X-Files. The English-speaking world was gripped by UFO mania, but what seemed a delightful mystery to some was becoming a headache for the spooks at Britain's Defense Intelligence Agency. Why is it supposed to be a headache? You either declassify the file or you just shut up. Don't try to gaslight the people. Please read all these things. Read all these things. By the time you will be done, watch. The study replaced one ministry with another after its author determined that the UFO sightings were a result of unexplained plasma formations in the atmosphere. Nevertheless, DI-55 announced afterwards that it would no longer accept UFO reports. Technically, we will shut down anything about a UFO. If you bring the report to us, we are not even going to entertain it. They are not going to entertain it. What does that mean? Doesn't that sound you like liars who don't want to be questioned? Does that sound to you like people who are convinced of what they are saying and really want to have a discussion about it? This is what the government does at each and every time. You are getting closer to the truth. They just cut tail and run. They cut and run. This is what they do. Someone said the aliens taught the Egyptians how to build the pyramids. Listen, it doesn't have to be the aliens. The aliens could have taught us how to do everything. There are stories engraved on stones, history written in stones about aliens tinkering with the human DNA. And those things should not be derided. They should be investigated. Not calling people who are talking about these spokes, not heads, not jaws, wackos. No. And going to that thing you said, Rose, going to what you said about the aliens. And listen, let me show you people something. This is on the wall of all these studios you call temples in Egypt. Those things are not temples. Those could be science studios, because a lot of things we've seen there are all science objects of today. Let me show you. Hold on, guys. Let me show you this. Just take a good look at this. Take a good look at this. Here is a helicopter. Watch here. Let me get a clearer picture for you people. Look at what seemed like a helicopter, not what seemed like a helicopter. This is the door. This is the rotor. This is the tail. This is the front. Now, this is what looks like an armored tank. Now, this is the gun. This is a pure battle tank. Now, watch this. This looks like a submarine. Look at it. Look at the hatch. Look at the tail. Everything. Then what's this? What's this? This is the same type of flying saucer. Not just the Zimbabwean children, but US Navy pilots, retired pilots have come to talk about this. And why are they making their pilots sign on non-disclosure agreements about what they are seeing in the sky? Not just military pilots, even civilian pilots. Watch these things again. Look at all these things. Look at this. Look at this. We've already found this one. We've already found this one. We've already found this one. Now, why wouldn't they admit this? This, no wings. No wings, yet it flies. It defies our current laws of physics. It defies everything we think we know about physics. Everything engraved in stone. History they don't want to talk about. Look at these things. Those things you call temples. Watch it. Yeah, see where it is colored. Look at this. This is the submarine. This is the flying saucer. This is a tank. This is a helicopter. No one can dispute this. No one can dispute that this is a helicopter. Are you seeing it? I don't know if there's anywhere else I can see it. Now watch. Which one is this? Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it? Watch again. Are you getting where we are going to? This is the information they don't want the people to know. Because when you know this information, there are things they can't explain to you. That's where you know that they are not strong. It will collapse everything we know about the society, and they don't know how it could turn out. They don't know how to handle it. The heads of all religious bodies in the world know this. When I talk about Christianity, I'm not talking about all these Pentecostals. Those guys are just thieves, armed robbers, who just saw a business opportunity. I'm talking about the people that instituted all those religions. Religion is man-made. And the people who, watch how we are being ruled by people who have classified information of today. This is how those people controlled the people they were living with then, because they had information that most of them don't have. Are you getting me? So don't wait until the government tells you that this exists before you believe it. When you hear anything about it, please do your own independent research. Right now, they are not going to call people. You will not hear them go and apologize to someone like David Icke. They won't. They won't apologize to someone like David Icke or Santos Bonacci. The same people they called not cases for saying these things. And these are the people who've been traveling around the world, Africa, South America, South America, and some places in North America, Mexico especially, Acapulco. They go to India, to the ends of the world, to investigate these things. Are we talking about the giants of Iran? Have we talked about that? Now, what is that Stargate exactly? they talked about that was in Iraq? Huh? How many artifacts have been lost in your place? Ask questions. What are the information engraved on them? When you look at our place, all these artworks they call they say spirit, that is nothing spiritual about wooden artworks. Those are the places your ancestors left information for you. Because we've lost the knowledge of the language they spoke, of their writing system, we can't even interpret any of them. But all these Europeans will come, and the Asians, they will come and buy those artworks. They will buy it, take it to their place. After, they will kill each and every one that was involved in that deal. Next thing they will say, hey, they sold the spirit mask. Now the spirit mask has killed them. No, the people who bought those things are the ones killing them. The people who bought those things are the ones killing them. It's not any spirit. They have many ways of killing people. They can poison you. You won't die today. After 3 months, 4 months, you develop one sickness, heart attack, and you die. You don't know that they've induced it after putting something in your body already. You wouldn't know. Or they can even send special killers. They'll come and kill you, poison you. People will say it's heart attack. They will say, no, the spirit killed him. What spirit? Is it beginning to make sense to you now? Is it beginning to make sense to you why they want to buy all these ancient African artifacts? Now you know, are you beginning to see that when they told you they burnt the Library of Alexandria, they were lying. They never burnt any damn thing. The things they burnt are public documents that no one needs. No one needs those documents. The main stone tablets, the main scrolls, they've taken them out. They've taken them to their place. That was exactly what the Romans went to look for in Greece. That was what they went to look for there. And carted away all of those things. Those things they took, where are they now? They are in the Vatican basement. Go and check the Vatican archives. No one is allowed to get into there. Not even the Pope himself. Not even the Pope himself. Guarded by the Swiss guards. Are you beginning to understand why you shouldn't believe these people on anything? They call us liars. They call us nutcases. Yet we are the ones they are shadow banning. We are the ones that are taken out on social media platforms. Yet it doesn't make sense to a lot of people yet. What else needs to happen before the people wake up? I believe that most of my friends who followed me all the way from Facebook, like you followed me for a year or two, I believe no one would tell you this nonsense and get away with it. Please, this is how you equip yourself. This is how you educate yourself. This is how you prepare yourself to face anyone out there, and you begin to notice things even before they are being explained to you. It's by opening your mind, opening your brain. Forget everything you've been told. I told you people this before now. Empty your brain, empty your mind. Start on a clean slate and start questioning every damn thing, including your very existence. Yeah, you shouldn't feel comfortable with these people in Africa. You shouldn't. They're coming to steal knowledge. It's not new to them. Their ancestors started it. And it's still happening. They are following in the footsteps of their ancestors. Just so you know. Just so you understand. Oh, so everyone, thank you for listening to me. And to all I want to toast to all the people that were called names for not believing all the nonsense the governments of the world have been telling us. To those of us that were called names that have been proven right over and over again, cheers, kudos, keep fighting and keep spreading the message. Thanks everyone for joining me. Please let me share this video on Facebook, share it on Twitter, across the social media platform. If you can download it, please feel free, download it, share it to people as a research materials. Please give it to people and tell anyone who wants to talk anything contrary to come on. We are willing to invite anyone to come and have that conversation. And I don't know if any of you wants to come on and make a contribution, or we want to come on and ask a question that you can't type. Please just click on the link below and I'll bring you on here very easily. Click on this link. You just click on this link and I'll bring you on. In the next 2-3 minutes, if no one came on, I think we'll be wrapping it up. It will be wrapping it up, and maybe I'll come in the evening and talk about what happened in Imo State. Oh, that was a very terrible, terrible, terrible result. That was a very, very, very pitiful outcome. The Supreme Court is very sad that the same people who accuse the Hausa Fulanis of staying in power forever can't even allow a different zone. I'm talking about Olu zone in Imo State right now. The people who have been calling for Igbo presidency and how the Igbos are being cheated can't even treat their own people with justice. You're accusing someone in power of not relinquishing power. Meanwhile, where you're holding on to power, you don't want to relinquish it. Isn't that double standard? Isn't that hypocritical? We are going to come and talk about that one later in the evening. Please, like always, share, like it, and top it up. Subscribe if you haven't. Please help me get it up to 1,000 subscribers so I can be able to stream on mobile and do other things and promote the page. Please help me do that. It helps me when you share these things. As you can see, I have no other platform to broadcast on. What time in the evening? I think it should be around 10 p.m. Nigerian time. Stay on Twitter. Just stay tuned on Twitter. We'll announce it, or if we are friends on, if you have my WhatsApp number, I'll share it on my status. On my Twitter account, please follow me on Twitter. This is my Twitter account. This is my Twitter account. Please follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter so we'll stay connected. That's my Twitter account. Follow me there so we can stay connected. If you have any message you get to me, please feel free to write to me. If you have anything you want me to explain to you, I will do just that. I'll be more than willing to do it. We are here to wake our people up. Please tell the others on Facebook that I'm not sure I'll ever come on Facebook again. I'm really, really, really sure of that I will never come on Facebook. I may never come back on Facebook. Let me use that word, may. I may never, because as it's going on right now, believe me, they really don't want me there. They really don't. Thanks everyone for joining me. Hope to see you soon later tonight. And turn on the notification bell so you see when we come live. You know, YouTube is not like Facebook where you open it, they just show you things. Just turn on the notification bell, please. Turn on the notification bell so we will be able to stay in touch, and you will miss a thing. You will miss a video. Thanks everyone for joining me once more. Bye.